to The Style That Binds Us. My name is Delia Folk.
And I'm Allison Brune.
And we are the mother-daughter duo that makes up The Style That Binds Us, which is a media brand that has this YouTube channel, podcast, and blog. This interview will also be featured on the Style That Binds Us podcast, so make sure to also listen to that. Today we are speaking with Gigi Burris, who is based in Brooklyn, and today we are in her studio in the Lower East Side. She is a graduate of Parsons in 2009, where she was nominated her senior year for Designer of the Year. She was also the 2014 class of the Vogue CFDA Fashion Fund. Basically killing it. We are so excited to be here with her today. Her hats have been worn by Rihanna, Lady Gaga, Haley Baldwin, Taylor
Swift.
So many fabulous women. So we cannot wait to share her brand and her story with you today.
Well, I would like to start by just saying thank you to you guys, because I'm just really grateful to be a part of this, special project between a mom and daughter, and I think that is just some very unique perspective, and so thank you for having me.
You're honored.
Thank you. Being a fellow woman from the South, there's a special bond between all of us that binds us, if you will. And so I grew up in Central Florida in a small town outside of Tampa, in between Tampa and Orlando. It was a very small town, so it was a big jump to come up here to New York City. And I didn't necessarily know that I wanted to be a milliner, but I knew that I loved art. And I loved being creative and working with my hands. So from a young age, I was really engaged with our local museum, studied art in high school, and then came up to Parsons School of Design, where it was awesome, where I got my bachelor's in fine arts and studied ready-to-wear. And while studying ready-to-wear at Parsons, I had the opportunity to go abroad my junior year to Parsons Paris. And the curriculum, it was just so romantic. And the curriculum there really focused on craft, on heritage, on, this kind of romance that was different than American fashion. And so I fell in love with that idea, of craft. And so when I came back to New York, I had always loved hats, and I knew that, it was essential to outfits. And when I sketched ready-to-wear, it was always with a hat. It was essential that I had a hat. They offered a millinery class for the first time, and so I took the class. There were only 5 students, so it was a really intimate. It was amazing, and you needed 5 students to make a class at that time. Otherwise, they were going to cancel the class. And so I begged my friend. I was like, "Please take this class with me. Otherwise, they're going to cancel it." My teacher was amazing, and so I went on to apprentice for her that following summer. And really learned so much about couture millinery, which is, I guess you could say a dying art.
And very specific.
Super specific. Yeah, it's definitely a niche category.
Yeah.
Milliner is someone who makes hats. It is a person who, works in the field of hat making. The way that we make hats is by hand, right? And so this is a technique that is centuries and centuries old, and this is the traditional way of making it. So it starts with a carved wooden block, and it has 2 pieces, right? A crown, which is the top part, and the brim, which is the bottom part. And so the shape of this hat begins in wood, right? And so we work with either vintage blocks from as early as the 1890s.
Wow.
So cool.
That is so cool.
To up towards probably the 80s. They didn't really make a lot of blocks after the 80s. Or we work with a skilled craftsman who will carve us our own blocks, which is so exciting. So this one in particular is a signature style called the Drake. It's a asymmetrical crown, and it has this kind of cowboy silhouette. Once they carve this shape, you choose a brim. So this is a 4-inch sloped brim that I chose to pair with this crown. So you have the whole shape in wood, and then you take the material and you place it over the wood, and you have steam, and you mold it with steam, and that moisture allows for the material to form around the wood. None of this is electric. This is all done with fire.
Wow.
So it's a fire oven.
So neat.
It stays on all day long. It's a boiler with the steam, so it's not like it's pretty elemental. I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it has a welt, that would be like a seam around the edge that might have a wire in it. And then you would put a sweatband. So that's something that, allows the material to, a buffer between the material and your skin. And it's soft. And ours is really cool because it has this beautiful branded intarsia weave inside of it. So I think something that really sets us apart from some of the other milliners is, I studied ready-to-wear. So I come from a merchandising kind of aspect when I design the collection, whereas maybe other milliners without that type of, design background might just work from hat to hat, whereas I really approach a collection and I want it to be fully merchandised. So when you see it in the store, that it looks, or you see it on a website like Moda or something, that it really looks cohesive and transportive. So for me, that's how I approach the collection, and I think that it really varies in terms of SKUs. There's certain seasons where, I might have a lot going on with private clients or projects that I just am not able to produce the same amount of SKUs as a collection that I'm really inspired. So it varies. Without colorways, we'll do 28 SKUs at minimum, and then we've gone up to 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is huge.
It's a pretty big collection. We do show with the main season fashion calendar. We do that because of wholesalers. Our client, in the general scope of hats, is pretty much a buy now, wear now client. She's buying straw through August. She goes to felts probably around September, October through the winter time. And, we are on the fashion calendar mostly because of wholesalers. And then we show during market. Delia had the opportunity to come and see the last collection when we showed spring.
So lucky.
And we often work with ready-to-wear designers, which is really exciting. In the past, we've worked with designers like Christian Siriano. We have done something for Simon Miller, who was part of the Vogue Fashion Fund with us. We've partnered with Tanya Taylor, Alice and Olivia, Brother Bellies, and so it's really cool to be able to bring life to people's vision because it's such a unique vocabulary millinery.
Right.
So we have ready-to-wear designers call upon us at the final hour. I have to say, people love celebrities, right?
Yeah.
And everybody wants to talk about celebrities. And, I am so grateful for all of the support that we get from people that are celebrity stylists because it is so exciting to see our pieces on celebrities. But all of that aside, I think from my own personal perspective about life and about business is that I get just as excited about seeing someone like you.
Sure.
And a woman that buys my hat than I do about a celebrity. Well, I think one of the unique things about hats is they're so emotional and they fit so many people, right? So if you are someone that feels that, you are limited in your choices because of size.
Right.
And sometimes even you're limited maybe financially.
Sure.
This could be a really special way to update your look. I think that the biggest hurdle is if you say that you're not a hat person, try it. Work with someone like you, or work with someone at a local shop, or I'm always available on email to answer questions from people about like what might work for their face or try different things, because I think that it could be really special to transform your look. You just got to jump over that hurdle.
Yeah.
So, it's the same with hats. It's definitely one of those things where certain proportions work better for certain faces. So if you have a rounder face, you're going to be better off with a wider brim because it's going to make your face look slimmer.
Okay.
And if you have a longer face, you're probably better off keeping it to a shorter or mid brim because you don't want to call attention to a long and wide proportion.
Right.
So you know what? It's just like one of those things, like everybody starts at the last minute. So we show the new collection in 6 weeks and we are not even close to starting. I mean, we've definitely got ideas in development and materials en route. But I would say it probably takes 6 to 8 weeks for me to do full development for the collection. Conceptually, it probably takes 3 to 4 months, but like execution wise, it's about 6 to 8 weeks. Comes to custom, we ask for 4 to 6 weeks. We can absolutely rush it, but it's better just because it gives us a lot of back and forth time.
Of course.
And then we, deliver on a wholesale schedule, so that gives us about 4 to 5 months to produce the full production. Well, I learn every day a little bit more about what that is involved. Coming as from a creative standpoint, that's one of the most difficult things.
Yeah.
And people that have a creative business, they don't realize that when you start this without, significant investment or without a partner that's able to take on all of those logistics.
It's a business person.
Certainly, yeah.
Person, sure.
This is basically a business where you're buying and trading and selling and, you have to negotiate terms and you have to negotiate exclusives and you have to, do a lot of shipping and it's a lot, more than just designing, for sure. Right. So I would put all of your social life aside and any dreams of having any money to shop with or time to shop, because it's super consuming and it has to be something that you are truly willing to make sacrifices for. And, it's a wonderful thing because I don't feel like I've ever worked a day in my life.
Right.
Yeah, I work, oftentimes 12 to 16-hour days. So it's just one of those things that it is not the Instagram glamour that you see. It's often really, really emotional and really hard.
Right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today to the Style That Binds Us YouTube channel. We post videos once a week right now on Sundays, so tune in next week for more style tips or industry interviews. We are so glad that you joined us today to learn all about Gigi Burris and her beautiful, incredible hat. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.